Do you want to start getting free publicity that positions you as that go-to expert in your niche and grows your business? I know that's what I want. If you don't know me already, I'm Christy Dosh. I'm a publicist and I'm the founder of Guide My Brand. And I just wanted to jump in here for a few minutes and give you some of my best advice for the things you've got to stop doing if you want to land more publicity, okay? So maybe you haven't pitched at all yet. Maybe you've pitched and you've heard nothing but crickets. We all know what that feels like. I know what that felt like in the beginning too, and I want to save you the trial and error, okay? So I'm going to dive right into it because I want to make sure this is packed with value for you, okay? So first and foremost, do not pitch something that's off topic, okay? Don't look at a website and say, gosh, they should cover more of this, or they should be trying to reach this audience, okay? You're probably not going to convince a Forbes, an entrepreneur, a fast company to cover something a little more on the woo-woo side. I'm sorry, but they're just not going to. That's not where your target audience lives. So quit pitching things that are off topic. Make sure you're pitching something the outlet actually covers. This seems small, but is really big to some editors. Do not spell their name wrong, okay? And even worse is if you use the wrong name altogether. I was just at a conference that had an editor. She used to be at the Denver Post. She covered their travel section. Her name is Kyle, okay? So you might think that because her name is Kyle, it's really a he, not a she. It's not. Kyle is a she, and her picture is very prominent on the Denver Post website. So if you had done your research at all, you would know she was a woman. So if you started your email, Mr. Wagner, she knew right away that you hadn't done your homework. It was a pet peeve of hers. Might have gotten you kicked out of the pile like that, okay? These editors get so many pitches and they're going through them so fast. Do not give them a reason to throw yours in the proverbial circular file, okay? It's just like when you're sending your resume around. Don't give people a reason to throw it away, okay? Also, you don't want to propose too many ideas. So people are so anxious to get into an outlet or onto a podcast or onto a TV show that they will pitch like 10 different ideas, okay? They'll just like bullet off a whole bunch of things that they could talk about or they could cover. I know, and I forgot to unplug my house phone. I'm sorry. I live on an island and I get no cell phone coverage. You will forgive me because I'm giving you good tips, okay? So don't propose so many topics that the editor is, like a deer in the headlights and can't make a decision. I generally only pitch one at a time. Now I will have backups, so if they come to me and say, well, this doesn't work for us because of this, I've got another one fired and ready to go, and I can reply back and say, okay, but what about this? At most, I'd say propose 2. Let's not go beyond 2, okay? You also don't want to write a novel, okay? Now look, my pitches are a little on the long side. I'm willing to admit it, but they work, okay? So I can get away with it because I've developed a very specific sort of pitch format that works for me, even though it's a little bit longer. Get to the point, okay? Credential yourself. Tell them what it is you want to cover. Tell them the value their audience is going to get and move on. I don't know who this is that keeps calling my house. Don't you know I'm on Facebook Live? Okay, also, last but not least, do not ignore instructions, okay? If someone gives you specific instructions, if their submission guidelines say, we want to see this, or I had one yesterday that said, your subject line must read contributor, submission, and your name. I forget exactly what the format was. Follow the directions, okay? If you can't follow those simple instructions to submit, then they're not gonna believe that you can follow deadlines and other sorts of style guidelines that they give you. I'm talking about guest blogs, but this is really true for anything that you would be pitching. Speaking, you'll often have to fill out a proposal. Follow the directions, okay? Easy, people, that's an easy one. So I told you all the things you shouldn't do. Let me tell you a few things you should be doing. You should be consuming the outlet. Now, if you're pitching for a magazine article, you do not have to read every magazine they've put out for the last 5 years, but please read at least one, like flip through it in the drugstore or something, okay? Because that is going to show you the types of pieces that they have. I'm talking about magazines. Again, this is really true for anything. Whatever you're pitching yourself for, whether it's a podcast or it's a guest blog or it's a magazine, it's a TV show, consume the outlet a little bit, okay? Figure out the types of people they normally have on. If it's TV, how long are the segments? Is it tied to a news topic? If it's a guest blog, what sections do they have on the website? Where would you fit? Okay, do a little research, people. Publicity takes time. It is time intensive. That's why people like me get paid to do it for you, because some people don't have the time. But when you're starting out, you're going to have to bootstrap and do it yourself. I get it. I did it for myself in the beginning, and I ended up with a contributor role on Forbes and then eventually a role at ESPN and book deals and all kinds of stuff. So it is worth putting the time in there, okay? Some other do's, you do want to credential yourself. You want to explain why you're the person who should be writing this or speaking about it. You want to make clear what the value is, what the audience is going to walk away having learned or knowing how to do. And you want to make the ask, okay? At the very end of the email, you want to tell them what you want from them. You want to have their scheduler so you can book your podcast interview, or you want to get started on the draft of the blog, okay? Seems like they should already know that, but I'm telling you, making the ask makes a big difference. Now, I couldn't possibly cover the do's and don'ts all here. I want to keep this short. You can get in, get out. I know you're busy, but if you want more, I have got a 90-minute free live, and I mean live, this is not evergreen, live. I will be there with you, maybe with a glass of wine in hand, next week, September 27th. I'm going to be coming to you with far bigger and better tips. We're going to go more in depth. We're going to dive in, and we're going to talk about how you can become your own publicist and start getting yourself that coverage that I know you're seeing your competitors get. It makes you like a little jealous, even if you're not normally a jealous person, right? Okay, but we're going to start getting that for you. guidemybrand.com/webinar. I will be there with you live. I will be answering your questions live, and I'm going to give you a few little tips and tricks I didn't give you today, and we're going to have so much more time to talk about them. So I hope I see you there. guidemybrand.com/webinar. Have a fantastic day.